Right, guys, welcome back to another trade fucking recap. Let's get straight into it. So this was a trade I took this morning on EUR USD. Let me show you the positions just so you know I'm not chatting shit. Where was it? Here we go. Right, okay. So this was a beautiful position that I took earlier on EUR USD. Took it on a challenge and took it on a funded. I made about $750 on the funded. I did close slightly early because I was at the gym and I couldn't really monitor the trade. But other than that, it was a banger little 3R overall. So we're going to go break it down, break this trade down, and then, yeah, see where we are at coming into the next coming days. So, coming into the day, what did I want to see? Looking at, let's actually just go straight onto a fresh chart actually. That will work a lot better. So yeah, coming into the day, it was a little bit of a weird one, right? Now, we are obviously overall bearish, okay? And we did displace through these gaps last week. Last week was this accumulation here, and then we obviously broke out of that. And with this big impulse candle on a Friday, to me, this was showing the clear intent of where price is wanted to go, right? So obviously bearish. Now we do have these draws over here to target this week, but the main draw I was looking at was this one yesterday that got swept. Okay, now once this draw got swept, okay, which was a little bit of a turtle soup into a 4-hour gap, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay, we had this turtle soup into this 4-hour gap. This was beautiful for reversal. Now this reversal is not a reversal that I'll be looking to trade all the way back up to new highs, okay? It's not that kind of reversal. To me, it is a reversal to rebalance this move downwards, okay? Now, what would a rebalance look like? It would look like this play here to the equilibrium of where price is, right? So, as well as that, we did, well, not yesterday, we are now in a fair value gap, a daily fair value, but we did have this massive 4-hour fair value gap here that I did want to see price trade into. So, with that in mind, okay, there was long opportunities yesterday. Like I said, once we turtle soup into the gap, just there was a long opportunity here. Now, my original plan for yesterday was for price to retrace back into the EQ of this hourly range. Why is this a new hourly range? Because we did cause a change of state on the hourly. But you can actually argue this is the change of state here. This is the order block. We did create that order block, and we did create this fair value gap just here, right? However, for me, this wasn't quite gonna play out. It just wasn't gonna play out yesterday, and so I really did want to take this, but it just didn't. So I then waited, and then I remember it did come down, but this was so like late into the day, like it was just like, okay, there's no point. Yes, this would have worked. Yes, this would have played, and it would have been like an Asia kind of trade. I'd have my stops around here, okay, and target the big EQ, and you know this is not a bad trade to take as a swing, or like a kind of half swing, but yeah, it just did not play. So once we tapped the EQ, and it was quite obvious that we were trading away and not coming into this hourly gap. And why was that? Because on the hourly, we clearly are just reacting from these gaps here. So for me to see price to continue going to here, I wouldn't want to see price now come all the way back down to this gap and then have the move. It could definitely happen because again we do have this thingy, but it is clear that we were just reacting from this 4-hour order block instead. So coming into the day, all right, I wanted to see us tap into this fair value gap one more time. Why? Because this fair value gap was created during Asia session. Yes, we did tap into it during Asia, and we did have this move up. But the fact that we were disrespecting these fair value gaps, and obviously we did have a push from this one, and then we came back down, it to me just showed that there was a lack of momentum in price, and that price would probably need to come back down into here to continue going higher. So that was kind of my strategy moving into the morning. I want to see an Asia continuation, okay, opposite of the Met position, and price to come higher from this POI. Okay, this aligned perfectly with OTE of the range, which was the Asia to the top of the swing. Okay, as we did kind of create this new hourly range right here. So This is what I was looking for. This simple, right? This is my continuation, like mechanical continuation model in a sense. You draw out the range from the bottom of Asia to the top of the swing. You get pulled back into some displacement, and then we continue going higher, okay? And that was what all I was looking for. So once we came into here, we kind of edged this fair value gap, and then we did actually end up coming back down into it. This was perfect, right? I had all my criteria met. The only thing that would have added to this position was if we got this low swept. However, this is a protected low because this is the low that created this new hourly push, right? So this low really, if we are looking at it, especially on a 30-minute, it looks even cleaner. This low realistically should get respected. However, we do sometimes see it come down turtle soup into this gap again and then continue going higher. So I had two conditions. I either get this and then we move up, or if I get a nice reaction from here, I go higher. Because again, I'm reacting, not predicting on what price wants to do. So yeah, this is beautiful. We have relatively equal highs over here, and this being my previous day high. Okay, and then we also had this daily fair value gap being formed right at that high, and so this was a clear magnet. Now at the time of all of this, we did have SMT at previous day high with, this is really annoying me. We did have SMT at previous day high with GU, and so this is why a lot of people did take the mech on GU. I think there was a mech position to be taken here after this 5-minute break. A lot of people were entering here, but this SMT to me is not going to hold. Why? Because it's not a relevant SMT. Because again, with context, I'm expecting price to rebalance all the way into the EQ of this range. Okay, so the fact that we have SMT at these highs doesn't mean anything to me, especially it being a Tuesday. I'm not expecting us to get a distribution away today. And also the fact that DXY was still so discounted, so premium, and we needed to come into the discount, and we needed to at least sweep this low. So there were a lot of reasons why I wouldn't take MEC today and why I would just solely look at continuations. And that SMT just did not really hold much weight to me. We had this 1 hour order block. It was just a nice trade to take. So entry models. I know a lot of people miss this because there wasn't a clean entry model. We had this SMT at the low. And again, if we are bullish, we should be respecting this. So I was no longer interested in these lows here. Now, originally, I was going to look at this 3-minute change of state and enter up here. Okay. However, if I go on the 1 minute, the 1 minute was showing the perfect picture for me. Okay. We had this massive 1 minute impulsive candle, right? No news, nothing. This is a beautiful 1 minute candle and creating this break of structure on the 1 minute, right? So that was my first confirmation. I don't enter on the 1 minute. So then I went down to the 2 minute and saw we were, well, I didn't count this as a CISD. No, I didn't include it, but we were looking to get a change of state delivery, and which we did. We got the change of state here, and so I simply just waited for price and I entered on this wick right there. I didn't enter on the order block because when price is, I mean, how many pips away? 0.4 pips away from that order block. I'm just going to enter. So I entered there, stops at the low, and again, if we are bullish, this low should get respected. And then I just held out to previous day high. My first take profit on my funded was this flat body high in the 15 minute. Okay, so I did take some profit out there at a nice little 1 to 2, and then let the rest run on the previous day high just there. Okay, now yes, there is definitely scope to hold all the way to this BPR over here, and it would definitely play, especially EQ of the swing, and you know, beautiful trade. But again, my main target was previous day high. Okay, because GU at the time was somewhere over here, and so again, it didn't make much sense. Okay, so that was kind of what I was looking at coming into this morning. Beautiful continuation model, just everything I need for an Asia continuation. Draw of liquidity up here as well. Hourly fair value gap inside 50% of the Asia range, and then a continuation to the upside with SMT as an added confidence. Okay, beautiful trade, beautiful shit. And yeah, that's it. That's all that I've got to say. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.